Hello, friend. Welcome to Lachan's live show today. We will talk about the piglet diarrhea. We will talk about the damage and the cost of the piglet diarrhea and how to solve this problem. Today we have invited one expert of the piglet. He will talk about all this topic and give us solutions for our information. So let's have a look at this following video.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. I'm Luis Chan from GNC Agritech Malaysia. Today I'm also representing China Santong Bachans Group to present for 2022 Swine Days webinar series. So let's start it. The title for today is Diarrhea Solution in Swine. Mainly, we will share some information, the diarrhea, economic risks and losses faced by pig farmers, what causes the diarrhea, what types of diarrhea is there in the market, and also Lachan's solution of prevention program, mainly focus on our new products, Eucommia almoides extract. For Lachan's, the product name is called Happiness 100, HPNS 100. In Chinese, is called 幸福100. The slide is prepared in dual language, but mainly I will present in English. For diarrhea economic risk faced by each pig farmer, there are three major issues. First is higher than normal mortality rate because due to different type of diarrhea, the dehydration of the piglet will cause them to die pre-weaning. Second, even the weak piglets that are recovered after we went through some treatment program, they will also have slower growth rate, which also means economic losses to the pig farmers. Finally, the major issues faced by the farm will be the weak piglets causing adverse effect on sow performance because the watery feces and pathogenic feces produced by the piglets will be contacted by the sow. Now, the second subtopic I want to share is diarrhea causes of pig farm. The first causes will be viruses, mainly gastroenteritis, epidemic diarrhea, rotavirus, PRRS, and circovirus. From Santong Lachans, they have gathered information from government agency to check the rotavirus infection rate. So from the data that we compiled, in 2018, out of 1,049 samples, the positive rotavirus samples are 19. The positive rate is 1.81%. In 2019, out of 288 samples, the positive samples is 32. The positive rate is 11.11%. While for last year, 2020 January to November, we tested 888 samples. The positive samples are 64. The positive rate is 7.2%. So we can see the positive rate from the China samples is on the rise. So on our right, this is the rotavirus microscopic photo, and it consists of double-strand RNA. For your information, rotavirus is also the most common human, infants, and young children diarrhea factor. So it's also very common in the pig farm piglets diarrhea. Second causes is by the bacteria. As you know, in Malaysia, I believe in Thailand, Singapore, Indonesia, and also China, they are using the incoming water from underground. Now, I'm sharing the second subtopic, diarrhea causes in pig farm. So the first causes is by viruses, mainly gastroenteritis, epidemic diarrhea, rotavirus, PRRS, and circovirus. For Shandong Lachans, we have compiled data from government agency for year 2018, 2019, and 2020 for rotavirus infection rate testing. So in 2018, China tested 1,049 samples. The positive sample are 19, and the positive rate is 1.81%. For 2019, they tested 288 samples. The positive samples is 32. The positive rate is 11.11%. For 2020, January to February, we tested 888 samples. The positive sample is 64. The positive rate is 7.21%. So on your right, we have the rotavirus microscopic photo. And also because rotavirus is easily infected due to their multiple protein structures that can easily bind with the mammal's cell wall. For your information, rotavirus is also common cause of diarrhea disease among human infants and young children. So it is very easily infected among piglets in the pig farm. The second causes of diarrhea is bacteria. Escherichia coli causing dysentery are most common in pig farm, and also Clostridia cause enteritis is also as deadly, but not as common. The most common is E. coli dysentery. The third causes of diarrhea is parasite. The most common factors is by coccidia, and coccidiosis mainly occurs from 7 to 21 days age of newborn piglets, while the peak occurrence is around 7 to 10 days age. So from the photo here, you can see the coccidia eggs. Let's say first day of the newborn piglets at the farm, the coccidia eggs already contacted with the piglets and went into the intestine. So it took the eggs few hours to be activated and start to grow. Then another 2 days later, they will go into the intestinal cell to generate more coccidia. And then 4 to 5 days later, only they will burst out from the intestinal cell and cause coccidia outbreak. So even at the first or second day of infection, the first 5 days, you won't see any coccidia outbreak. Actually, they are already infected by coccidia. Then the peak occurrence will be on 7 to 10 days. So from Lachans, we mainly promote the prevention program, because when you contact with the coccidia and outbreak, that time is already too late. So for the pathogenic infection, we mainly have 3 steps of infection treatment and control. First, you must find out what is the source of your farm infection, whether it is virus, bacteria, or caused by parasite. Because each different type of infection, they have different infection pathway. So we have to use different treatment program or prevention program. And finally, we can achieve our target of animal protection of our young farm animals. Now we are sharing the maternal diarrhea. In Chinese is pronounced as 母源性腹泻. So what is pathologic diarrhea caused by lack of maternal antibody supplies? Means the sow milks have less nutrient, especially in antibodies. So when the piglets drink the sow milk, they have lower piglet immunity. So from this chart, we can see that either the new sow or the existing sow but not so healthy, initially their colostrum production is not high. Even they have enough milk also, sometimes they don't have enough antibodies in their milk. So when the piglets are very young, they have low or zero immunity. So they need to get the immune cells or antibodies from the mother. Eventually, when the piglets growing and approaching weaning, if they don't get enough nutrients from the sow milks pre-weaning, they will have very low immunity. Then if post-weaning, here you can see here that when there is post-weaning, the mother's milk, they don't no longer consume any sow milk, and their own immunity haven't grown until the healthy range. Hence, this is the 免疫空白期 means the window of zero immunity or very low immunity. This stage is the stage where piglets easily trigger diarrhea. So another cause of maternal diarrhea is breast edema, botrytis, mastitis, agalexia, or lack of milk. Insufficient milk from the sow can be caused by sow constipation or insufficient feed intake. Because country like Malaysia and I believe Thailand and Indonesia, we have very high moisture and high temperature. So in like now the weather is very hot in Malaysia, the pigs in the outdoor open house farm, they will have less feed intakes. So the sow at the open house farm will have insufficient feed intake and hence lower milk production. This is a very common issue, happens in, I think, Southeast Asia countries. So another type of maternal diarrhea, which is non-pathogenic. Just now what we shared is pathogenic, right? The non-pathogenic diarrhea is the piglets gets inflammatory factors and mycotoxin from the sow milk, because our sow, they daily digest, intake and digest many feed, right? So when the feed have high mycotoxin, like the photo here, from the corn, we have detected aflatoxin and other toxins. So the mycotoxin passed down from the sow to the piglets will damage multiple organs of the piglets. So from our chance, we have gathered the data. Aflatoxin are detected in sow colostrum. So the healthy range of detection rate is 0.5%. Now the samples 1 to 10, we actually detect aflatoxin in very high concentration, way higher than the approved 0.5 rate. So you see the lowest is 1.1, while the highest is 27.7, which is overdosed by around 60 times. Next, we have the other type of diarrhea, which is the piglet hepatogenic issues. What is the piglet hepatogenic causes? First is naturally born weak, because we know that sometimes healthy sow also will produce a few weak piglets. So how do we define born weak piglets, which is the low birth weight, which is below like maybe 5 kilo or 4 kilo. Then we have insufficient immunity. Okay, the last type of diarrhea is piglet hepatogenic. So what causes piglet hepatogenic? First is born weak, low birth weight, and hence insufficient immunity, because sometimes even healthy sows will also deliver weak piglets in the farms. So for the weak piglets, they will also facing difficulty fighting for their mother colostrum intake. So they will cause low colostrum intake for the piglets, and also some new sow or some existing sow which are not so healthy, they will also produce less colostrum. So not all piglets can have enough colostrum intake. And also environment factor may affect the piglet hepatogenic diarrhea problem, like biosecurity, if the farm have very high pathogens in the environment, the piglets are prone to diarrhea. And also some countries like Malaysia and I believe Thailand and Indonesia, the temperature and moisture also affected the high pathogens environment in the farm. So some photos is like for the hepatic diarrhea in following piglets. So what is a hepatogenic diarrhea? In Chinese, it's called 肝源性腹泻. You can see here. First, we can detect liver and gallbladder function damage in the piglets. Okay, now we share an example of what is an hepatogenic diarrhea issue. First, liver and gallbladder function is damaged. Hence, the bowel secretion for the piglets is reduced or totally absent due to the absence of bowel, low absorption of sow milk fat detected. When the piglet intestines have high undigested milk fat, the intestinal cells osmotic pressure are facing imbalance. Afterwards, intestinal cells secrete water into the gastrointestinal tract to try to recover from the osmotic pressure imbalance. When this situation occurs for a long time, the piglet's body dehydrates too much and hence causes death. This is why we said in the farm, a hepatogenic diarrhea issues is occurred. So the photo on your right is a typical hepatogenic diarrhea happening in the farm. You can see the feces is very oily and wet. So to recap, each farm's owners need to know what causes your farm issues. If it is pathogenic, then we need to continue to find out whether it is caused by virus, bacteria, or parasites. And hence, we can deduce a prevention program or treatment program to reduce the diarrhea issue. Second, it is due to maternal diarrhea. Then after that, we need to find out is that due to lack of milk antibody or because of feed toxin issues. Third, is your farm diarrhea issue is caused by piglet hepatogenic problem? Is it because the issue the piglets born weak or because of your environmental issue? Then from La Chance, we offer our own solutions program, which is Happiness 100 and Reunion. So everyone, now we're sharing the solution programs from La Chance. First, we introduce our new products, Happiness 100, and our existing product, Reunion bile acid. For HPNS 100, it is a Euphomia almoides extract, mainly for viral and bacterial diarrhea. Second, Reunion bile acid, mainly for maternal and piglet hepatogenic diarrhea issue. So from La Chance, we introduce Euphomia almoides. So what is Euphomia almoides? It is a naturally extracted flowons, a species of small tree native to China. It belongs to the monotypic family Euphorbiaceae. It is widely cultivated in China for its bark and is highly valued in herbology as a traditional Chinese medicine tonic. The properties of this plant extract is anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and immune regulatory additive. It is also an alternative feed additive to replace AGP. So this is the whole tree. It looks like this. Mainly, we use the tree leaf to extract our HPNS 100. For La Chance HPNS 100 composition, we contain chlorogenic acid more than 20%, Euphomia flavonoids more than 10%, and finally Euphomia polysaccharide more than 40%. From La Chance, also we offer Reunion bile acid. So what is Reunion bile acid? Our bile acid are naturally extracted bile for optimum bioavailability and utilization by the animals. It is also a natural bioemulsifier produced by animal livers. So in your feed formula, we can replace either save some fat energy or replace your existing feed emulsifier. It is also activator for pancreatic lipases to digest fat nutrients. Bile acid is also an antimicrobial mediator in intestine, deactivates intestinal and liver toxins, and also fresh bile secretion stimulants when reabsorbed back to liver. For our second product from La Chance, what is Runyon bile acid and its functions? First, Runyon bile acid is a naturally extracted bile for optimum bioavailability and utilization by the animals. Second, it is also a natural bioemulsifier produced by animal livers. Activators for pancreatic lipases to digest fat nutrients. Fourth, antimicrobial mediator in intestines. Deactivates intestinal and liver toxins. And they will stimulate fresh bile secretion when reabsorbed back to liver. So there are a few multiple functions and potential items replacer by using Runyon bile acid. Next, our bile acid composition is bile acid 30% and the carrier by concord is 70%. For our recommended usage to treat pig farm diarrhea issues, we recommend for prevention program before delivery 20 days in sow gestation feed, we use Runyon 1 kilo per ton and HPNS 400 gram per ton. For treatment program, on top of prevention dose, we add Runyon 5 gram per head of piglet or sow per day and relevant antibiotics to treat pathogenic diarrhea caused by bacteria if it is confirmed. All right, before we end today's presentation, I would like to introduce everyone to La Chan's in-house developed app. It is called BeneFarm. The meaning is benefit your farm. Then you should able to search for this application on iPhone, iTunes Store, or Google Store. Search for this name, BeneFarm. Then just download it for free and use also for free. You can see that we have multiple functions like poultry, aqua, swine, ruminant. You can key in whichever animal types you like. And for this example, I key in for the swine market. And you can see that you can search for benefits from piglets. And then you can choose the function to reduce your feed cost, benefits your piglets, or benefit from fattening pigs. You should try this app. And if you have any further inquiries, you can contact me at my company email address, louis@gencyagri.com, or you can add me on WhatsApp or WeChat. This is my phone number. So thank you everyone for your patience, and let us meet each other soon. Thank you everyone.